Nowhere quite does incompetence and drama like the Scottish Premiership, and here we are with the final day for the top six, and by God, it was action-packed. You look at tomorrow's bottom six, will they live up to the hype? Probably not, but it's not all good, alright? As much as we love drama and as much as we love it, right? And it adds to the fids, it adds to the talking points. The incompetence today is absolutely shocking. Alright, we've seen a team relegated on Wednesday due to it, and then we've seen a perfectly fine goal get destroyed by Nick Walsh today. But before we get into Nick Walsh and his incompetence and all that good stuff, we're going to start from ascending order. We're going to go from Celtic and Motherwell's 1-1 draw. Now, it may not look all that entertaining on the face of it, but there was drama here because Aberdeen were actually beaten Dundee United, which meant St Mirren, if they beat Celtic at Parkhead, would overtake Dundee United to fifth. They took the lead with Ayunga, sorry. It was a good goal. Celtic, not the greatest defensively. It was a bit of an off day from a Celtic perspective. They huffed and they puffed. But who stepped up to task? It was James Forrest to make it 16th consecutive seasons a goal scorer for Celtic in the top flight. That's an incredible record. I remember a couple of years ago when this guy was getting pelters. Here on Fog Football, we actually stood up for James Forrest. You know, a guy that's won as many trophies as he has at Celtic, a record breaker, this and that. 16 consecutive seasons in a row scoring a goal in the league. That's incredible, man. And the guy doesn't get treated with enough respect. Is he the greatest winger that Scotland's ever seen? No, but, by God, I think most clubs would wish they had a guy like James Forrest who had won as many trophies as he has and has scored and produced performances like he has on a consistent basis. But anyway, he stepped up and it's a draw. But I think the fact that James Forrest got the goal, well, it won't make it as bad for Celtic, put it that way. I'm not saying if they lost it would have been, the worst thing ever because, they have won the league and they are going to celebrate that today or whatever. But St Mirren, unlucky for them. But thankfully, from their point of view, conceding that late goal, it would have been a massive win over Celtic at Parkhead. Don't get it twisted. What was it, 94th minute equaliser? It would have hurt a lot more if Aberdeen had actually seen their bit of business out. But of course, Aberdeen didn't. Yes, they were leading 1-0, but Sam Dalby and Declan Gallagher had a few words to say about that, and they made it 2-1 Dundee United. So, Aberdeen, right? Aber-frickin-Deen. The team that were joint top, 9 points clear of Rangers, whipping out the pyro in October, have finished 5th behind their new firm rivals in Dundee United, right? Who are just promoted, we got to remember, Hibs, who were 24 points off of Aberdeen at one stage this season. Aberdeen have been beaten by both of them, right? It's insane. And St Mirren also finished not too far behind Aberdeen as well. Absolutely disgusting season from Aberdeen. It really is. And as much credit as Jimmy Teelan's got to get for the start of the season, he's got to get buried for the rest of it. Now, let's see if Jimmy Teelan came in, right, and finished 5th with Aberdeen without the start and it was just consistently better. I think people would almost half accept it. It's like, oh, we're rebuilding. But see the fact they were that good at the start of this season, the drop-off's unacceptable, man. But I don't need to tell you that. It is. We've spoken about it 100 times. We'll do it a wee bit more in the review show. We need to leave a wee bit more for that, so I don't want to get into it too much. But yeah, not ideal. But we're saving the best for last here because Hibs 2, Rangers 2, the worst decision you've seen all season. And you're thinking, didn't you say that about Nick Walsh on Wednesday? Well, here we are, alright? Here we are on Saturday, and he somehow outdid it, right? So, it's 1-0 at this point. Dessler scored in the second minute. Rangers set to make it 2. Nico Raskin played through. He's at it with Rocky Bashuri. Ball goes in the back of the net, and Rocky Bashuri kicks it out the back of the net. And Nick Walsh waves play on. You're thinking, okay, what the hell is that all about? The ball quite clearly crossed the line. But at least VAR will hopefully see this, or his linesman will say something. Nothing said. 10 seconds later, Hibs go make it 1 each with Kieran Bowie. And right thinking, alright, this is bad. But at least VAR's going to have a look at it. VAR, have a look at it. They give Hibs the goal, and our goal doesn't count. The worst decision I've seen this season. The worst decision I've seen for years, man. And their argument is, the SFA's argument is here, is that there was no decisive evidence that the ball was over the line. I'm sorry. I mean, if you think the Dyson Maida disallowed goal at Easter Road is bad, this is 100 times worse. It's clearly over the line. And, we don't have cameras set up in the right positions. What? 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 Then get them set up in the right positions, man. There's a lot of money at stake here. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, like I said in my watch along, Rangers are going to finish second, Hibs are going to finish third. But it doesn't matter. You know, you have to get correct decisions. Like, imagine if this decision, right, is for Rangers to win the league. Imagine if this decision is for Hibs to, like, guarantee third, right? Or whatever. And you're Dundee United or Aberdeen, and say you need Hibs to lose to Rangers in order to have a chance at third. You know, it's not just because it didn't matter and there's nothing on the line. Essentially, these decisions are wrong, and there is something on the line. And we don't even need to look back that far. Look at the state. Look at the state of Wednesday with Nick Walsh. He's relegated St Johnstone. Yeah, and St Johnstone's been shite over the course of a season, and that truly has been the factor of them getting relegated. But that doesn't mean they deserve to get robbed in a game that they cannot, in a game that they need Ross County to lose. Of course it doesn't. You know, it's unacceptable, man. They've been relegated by that decision, but obviously over the course of the season, St Johnstone have been relegated just due to poor results. But it's no right, man. It ain't. It's absolutely crazy. It's the incompetency, man, is insane. But that's the reaction to the 3 games. Like I said, I don't think the bottom 6 are going to cover it too much, but by God, I've done a lot of speaking today already. My foot is going here. So, till next time. Peace.